Kema Secondary School. I wish you well. May you succeed and dream beyond your wildest of imagination. Don't be limited by anything. You can achieve whatever you dream and set out to do. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order, clerk.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Statements pursuant to Standing Order 52-1. The Honorable Senator Chirange.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and confirm what Senator Aaron is saying about the meat from Koriema. Mr. Speaker, the statement on the explanatory performance by Kenyan athletes and smashing of the women's 1500 meters world record by Faith Kipyegon at the WADA Diamond League 2023 Golden Gala. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52-1 to make a statement on the issue of general topical concern and national importance, namely the performance by Kenyan athletes and smashing of the women's 1500 meters world record by Faith Kipyegon at the WADA Diamond League 2023 Golden Gala at Kilof Stadium in Florence, in Italy. Mr. Speaker, sir, it was a great moment for Kenya history when history was made by our very own Faith Kipyegon when she shattered the world record for the women's 1500 meters race, setting a new record of 3:4:9:11. Kipyegon smashed the record of 3:50:07 previously set by Ethiopia's Kensebe Dibaba in Monaco in 2015. Mr. Speaker, sir, Kipyegon, an Olympic and current world 1500 meters champion and a legend, has gone on to assert a position as one of the all-time greatest women athletes in the 1500 meters race, breaking the world record, which has been elusive and missing in her career. Mr. Speaker, sir, Kipyegon's journey to the top is like a fairy tale, having started from bottom up with a sweep of the world under-18 and under-20 titles in 2011 and 2012 respectively, and 17 Diamond League victories since her debut in the league in 2015. With her, Mr. Speaker, sir, latest result, she has become the greatest woman runner of all time or an athlete in the 1500 meters race in Kenya and the world. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also wish to congratulate Ferdinand Omanyala, the fastest man in Africa, for finishing second at the same Diamond League in Florence, Italy, by clocking 10.05 seconds. Mr. Speaker, sir, this superb performance by our athletes has shown our upcoming athletes that through determination, hard work, everything is possible, and that the more world records are coming our way. Mr. Speaker, sir, I continue to call on our athletes to remain clean and dedicated in their careers by avoiding the doping menace that has ended careers and dented the image of many athletes here at the country and across the world. Mr. Speaker, sir, I call upon the government, Athletics Kenya, and National Olympics of Kenya, NOC, to engage these upcoming and promising athletes as Kenya's brand ambassadors in sports tourism and in marketing Kenya abroad. Issue them with diplomatic passports and ensure that their finances and rewards are proper and well-structured to keep them motivated at all times. Mr. Speaker, sir, finally, on my own behalf and on the great people of Nandi, the source of champions, I wish to congratulate our own Faith Kipyegon and Ferdinand Omanyala and all our athletes and wish them well, assuring them of my commitment and the commitment of the Senate and support at all times as they continue representing our great nation. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, the Honorable Senator Tabitha Mutinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I do rise pursuant to Standing Order 53 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land and Environment, Natural Resources on the regulation of sand harvesting in Kitui County. In the statement, the committee should, 1, outline the actions undertaken by the National Environmental Management Authority and the relevant county departments to ensure sustained enforcement of laws and regulations pertaining to natural resources, including sand harvesting in Kitui County, in order to eliminate cartels exploiting the country's natural resources without benefiting the residents, host counties, and the national government.
Senator Chirange, kindly consult in low tones so that we can hear the senator speak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 2, provide details of guidelines formulated and implemented by the Kitui County and the National Environmental Management Authority in relation to sand harvesting, with a specific focus on managing and mitigating the impact of sand harvesting on the environment, the host communities. 3, Mr. Speaker, state the measures being taken by Kitui County and the National Environmental Management Authority to carry out regular monitoring and inspections in order to guarantee compliance with the environmental regulations regarding sand harvesting. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, recommend measures to stop illegal sand harvesting in Kitui County and the country at large, including ensuring illegal harvesters are brought to book. Thank you.
Senator Hamida Kibwana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have 3 statements to make. I'll start with the first one on challenges in passport issuance and claims of bribery. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations regarding the challenges in passport issuance and claims of corruption in the Directorate of Immigration Services, particularly the passport section. In the statement, the committee should, number 1, outline the measures being implemented to combat alleged instances of corruption within the Directorate of Immigration Services, particularly the practice of expediting passport issuance for those who can afford to bribe officials. Number 2, explain the immediate and long-term measures put in place by government to address cases of frequent machine breakdown, as well as supply chain challenges for passport production. And number 3, state plans by immigration services to clear the substantial backlog of approximately 60,000 pending passport applications and expedite the processing of these applications in strict adherence to the stipulated 21-day processing time. The second statement, it's regarding accessibility and affordability of fistula care in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health regarding the actions being taken by the Ministry of Health to make fistula care more accessible and affordable in Kenya. In the statement, the committee should provide an assessment of the current status of fistula care facilities and resources in Kenya, including the number of trained medical personnel and specialized centers capable of providing comprehensive fistula care, prevention, repair, and social reintegration services. Number 2, explain the strategies in place to address the barriers that prevent victims from accessing necessary health care and resources, including efforts to improve geographical accessibility, affordability of services, and the availability of specialized equipment and supplies. And number 3, state measures being implemented to ensure comprehensive care for all victims of obstetric fistula, including the number of surgeries performed every quarter, rehabilitation and reintegration programs, and ongoing efforts to increase the capacity and efficiency of fistula treatment services. The last statement, Mr. Speaker, it's regarding actions to make cancer treatment accessible and affordable in Kenya. In the state, Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health regarding the actions being taken by the Ministry of Health to make cancer treatment accessible and affordable in Kenya. In the statement, the committee should state the plans the Ministry of Health has made to declare cancer a national disaster in Kenya and allocate sufficient budgetary resources to support cancer awareness, diagnosis, and treatment initiatives. Number 2, explain interventions that the Ministry of Health has put in place in any to subsidize the cost of cancer care and treatment. Number 3, state actions that have been taken by the Council of Governors to prioritize the establishment and equipping of cancer diagnosis and treatment center in every county to enhance accessibility to these essential services. And number 4, explain measures taken by the Council of Governors aimed to increasing budgetary allocation towards cancer awareness among populations and clinicians in each county in order to achieve early diagnosis and improved treatment outcomes. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Senator Beth Siengo. Senator Wambua, you're holding brief for... Senator
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
So you read our statement and proceed also to make your statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will read Senator Shengo's statement and then I read mine as well. So, Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Trade, Industrialization and Tourism regarding the promotion and marketing of rocks and hills in the eastern region of Kenya as tourism sites. In the statement, the committee should, 1, outline the findings of surveys and assessments conducted, if any, for rocks and hills in the eastern region, including Gomeni Rocks and Zawi Hills in Kitui and Makueni counties, respectively, to evaluate their potential for tourism. 2, state the criteria used in identifying areas for promotion and marketing as tourist sites, clarifying whether the rocks and hills meet these criteria. And 3, state measures put in place by the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Heritage to develop tourism infrastructure and attract local and international visitors to rocks and hills, noting that they offer outdoor recreational opportunities such as hiking and climbing. The Speaker, that is the statement as requested by Senator Beth Siengo. With your permission, the Speaker, and your indulgence, I'll proceed to seek my statement under 53.1. And so, Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources regarding issuance of title deeds to the residents of Kitui County. Speaker, Senator Manzo and Senator Kajwang are consulting in very high tones.
Manzo and Senator Kajwang, you're out of order and I'm going to give you the first question of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the statement, the committee should, 1, state the number of title deeds that have been issued to the residents of Kitui County since 2017 to date, providing a year-by-year breakdown. 2, state the number of adjudicated areas in Kitui County where title deeds are yet to be issued and the number of areas that are yet to undergo adjudication. And 3, indicate steps being taken to expedite the adjudication process in Kitui County, especially areas covering the Kibwezi, Mutomo, Kitui, Migwani Road, where land was compulsorily acquired for the construction of the road, and residents are yet to be compensated on account of this non-adjudication and non-issuance of title deeds. The Speaker, I thank you.
Senator Edwin Sifuna.
Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries regarding the non-payment of dairy farmers dues by the New Kenya Cooperative Creameries Limited, the new KCC. In the statement, the committee should explain why farmers selling their milk to the new KCC have not been paid since March of this year to date. State how much money is owed to the farmers by new KCC and indicate when they should expect to be paid. And finally, provide a detailed report on the financial position or standing of the new KCC. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 56-1, the Honorable Matthew.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 56-1 of the Senate Standing Orders to make a statement relating to a matter for which the committee is responsible. I rise here as the Chairman Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resources to make my remarks as the chairperson to that committee on the World Environment Day 2023. Honorable Speaker, the World Environment Day is the largest global event celebrated by millions on June 5th. The event, led by the United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, was first celebrated on 5th June 1973, and this year marks its 50th anniversary. This year's theme for the World Environment Day will focus on the solutions for plastic pollution. World Environment Day helps to highlight the urgent challenges we currently face, challenges like the climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. Plastic pollution touches on all the 3 of those challenges, and it is crucial that as Kenyans we continue raising awareness, correcting best practices, and ensuring commitment from all stakeholders. Honorable Speaker, today we are seized of the opportunity to address a critical issue that plagues not only Kenya, but the entire world, plastic pollution. Under this year's theme of focusing on solutions to plastic pollution, we aim to delve into the unique context of Kenya and explore the legislative approach to combat this menace in our beloved nation. Kenya, like many other countries, has been severely affected by the adverse impacts of plastic pollution. Our rivers, lakes, coastlines are being suffocated by plastic waste, endangering our precious ecosystem and marine life. Plastic pollution poses a significant threat to human health, sustainable development, and the overall well-being of our society. However, it is not a challenge that cannot be overcome. To effectively combat plastic pollution in Kenya, a multifaceted approach that combines legislative measures, public awareness campaigns, and a sustainable practice is essential. Let us focus on the legislative aspect and explore how our laws and regulations can pave the way towards a plastic-free future. Honorable Speaker, firstly, it is imperative to strengthen existing legislations related to plastic waste management. This committee, during the 12th Parliament, passed the Sustainable Waste Management Bill, National Assembly Bill of 2020, National Assembly Bill number 22 of 2021. We will be looking at the Act to ensure that it adequately responds to challenges we have in the present day. However, there is a need for stricter enforcement, enhanced penalties, and comprehensive guidelines that specifically target plastic production, consumption, and disposal. Additionally, introducing a ban or restriction on single-use plastic can significantly reduce the amount of plastic waste generated. Several countries have successfully implemented such measures, and Kenya can draw inspiration from these experiences. By prohibiting production, importation, and use of certain single plastic use items, such as plastic bags, straws, and water bottles, we can encourage a shift towards more sustainable alternatives and promote a circular economy. Honorable Speaker, to support the implementation of these bans and restrictions, it is crucial to establish a robust regulatory framework. This framework should outline the responsibilities of various stakeholders, including manufacturers, retailers, and consumers, and provide guidelines for waste management, recycling, and the development of sustainable packaging materials. By fostering collaboration between government, industry, and civil society, we can ensure effective implementation of these regulations. Moreover, incentivizing the recycling industry through legislation can play a significant role in reducing plastic pollution. By offering tax breaks, subsidies, or grants to businesses engaged in plastic recycling, we can stimulate investment and innovation in this sector. Creating a favorable environment for recycling companies will not only create job opportunities, but also promote a circular economy, where plastic waste is seen as a valuable resource than a disposable commodity. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, as we commemorate the World Environment Day 2023, let us recognize that the battle against plastic pollution requires a comprehensive legislative approach in the Kenyan context. By strengthening existing laws, introducing bans and restrictions, establishing a regulatory framework, and giving incentives for recycling, we can pave way towards a cleaner and healthier environment for ourselves and future generations. Remember, the power to protect our environment lies within each and every one of us. Let us be the change we wish to see and inspire others to join us for this transformative journey together. That's my humble submission. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kajwang, what is your intervention?
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to beg your indulgence to allow me just a minute or two to just support what the substantive chair of the standing committee that deals with climate change matters, the statement he has made with regards to World Environment Day. Mr. Speaker, as you know, you have granted me the opportunity to convene the Climate Change Caucus within the Senate, and it is one caucus that draws membership in a bipartisan manner. Mr. Speaker, World Environment Day fell on Monday, as has been communicated by the chair, and the caucus had made certain arrangements to do tree planting around Uhuru Park. Mr. Speaker, we did not execute because one of our main partners, the United Nations Environment Programme, had expressed their willingness to support us in that activity. Mr. Speaker, we decided to postpone our tree planting activity to afford the Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Programme an opportunity to come to the Senate to meet the Speaker and to meet with other members of the Senate, because we think that a partnership between the Senate and UNEP is one that would be mutually beneficial, considering that the UNEP is headquartered here in Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the caucus, we shall be communicating the new date on which we as members of parliament can join the global effort towards combating climate change through planting of trees and through elimination of waste plastic. Mr. Speaker, this year's theme was around plastic, and there are important and interesting innovations that we have come across as a caucus. Ghana is proposing at the United Nations a global plastic pollution fee. And that will be levied on some of the big users of plastic, people like Coca-Cola, the global beverage manufacturers. And in as much as Kenya has gone for the ban on single-use plastic, there are other innovations that we can consider, like imposing higher levies. Mr. Speaker, I would be happy if we're increasing the taxes on producers of plastic, which then end up choking the environment. Mr. Speaker, I also wanted to, with your permission, to encourage that when African leaders meet in Nairobi in September, under the leadership of William Ruto as the chair of the Climate Change Committee of the Africa Union, that we as members of parliament should not be left behind. That as the presidents have a conversation on climate action, ministers have a conversation, we as legislators should also ensure that our voices are heard. This week, the United Nations Habitat Conference is going on, and we've been very lucky, Mr. Speaker, to get invitations. In fact, this afternoon, Senator Muma and Senator Hamida had already registered to represent the Senate at the UN Habitat, but it is the death, untimely death of our staff, Madam Mr. Speaker, I could never get to call her anything beside Abujubu, and that's how I always used to call her. And it is that news that pulled Senator Hamida and Senator Muma out of the UN Habitat meeting. So I just wanted to encourage that when the world converges in Africa later on in September, that members of parliament should also be involved. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to encourage multilateralism. The Paris Agreement is an important tool for multilateral action around climate-related causes. Mr. Speaker, we know that when the president was opening the UN Habitat Conference, he made certain critical remarks about the processes that go about the Paris Agreement. I do not want to believe that the president might be directing us towards a withdrawal from the Paris Agreement, which is part of national laws because it has been ratified and domesticated in Kenya. I want to encourage that even as we approach multilateralism, even as we go into this conference of parties under the Paris Agreement, COP28 or COP29, we don't go as beggars, and we don't go with an inferior attitude or with an inferiority complex. I want to believe that that is what the president has been calling out, that when we go for COPs, when we go for global climate meetings, we should not go as beggars on our knees and with a begging bowl, because after all, the impacts of climate change are devastating upon us. And the people to blame are the same people who want to give us aid and who want to give us conditions and who want to put us as small beggars in light of those Paris Agreement and multilateral arrangements. So, Mr. Speaker, we should never pull out of those multilateral arrangements like the US did during the time of Donald Trump. And the president, I hope, will still encourage Kenya to be part of future COPs, because that is where decisions are made in a multilateral manner that can help us to combat the global climate challenges. Mr. Speaker,
What is your point of information? And Senator Kajwang, would you wish to be informed?
Yes, Senator Mungatana, I accept.
No, Mr. Speaker, just to allay the fears of my colleague, Senator Kajwang, the president is not pulling us away from COP 20, is it 28? Yes. The president addressed this issue when he was addressing the climate change conference in Midrand, South Africa, and addressing the whole of the Pan-African Parliament. And he said specifically, because there's a thinking among some African nations that let us not attend Paris, let us frustrate Paris. That is a COP that the Honorable Kajwang is talking about. But there is another thinking that says, let us be felt at every meeting on climate change. So I wanted to inform my learned friend and my colleague here that the president of Kenya stated very clearly that we must be present in every meeting so that our position as Africa is felt and even country position. So Kenya will very much be there. I wanted to allay those fears. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kajwang, kindly proceed to conclude.
I appreciate that information from Senator Mungatana. And Mr. Speaker, I conclude by saying that I could have many things or many areas where I disagree with the President. But when it comes to climate change and climate action, that is an area that our interests converge. And that is an area where when we are called upon to undertake action, when we are called upon to work together, it's an area that we should approach in a bipartisan manner because it afflicts all of us, irrespective of our political convictions. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, I had skipped a statement by the senator from Ranga. So kindly, Senator New, to proceed to make a statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations regarding the safety and evacuation of Kenyans stranded in Sudan following the security situation in the country. In the statement, the committee should, 1, outline the actions being taken by the government to ensure the safety of Kenyans currently in Sudan. 2, state the number of Kenyans evacuated from Sudan since the conflict started in the country. And 3, explain plans by the government to safely and swiftly evacuate the remaining Kenyans. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, before I call upon the clerk to call the next order, allow me to make this communication. I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon, visiting teachers and students from Ngurueni Secondary School, Murang'a County. The group comprises 1 teacher and 154 students who are in the Senate for a 1-day academic exposition. Honorable Senators, in our tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. Honorable Nyutu, kindly take under 1 minute to welcome the guests.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to welcome teachers and students from Ngurueni Secondary School, which happens to be in my county of Murang'a. Mr. Speaker, this is a school located in a ward called Gaichanjiru in Kandara constituency. It is a day school and a mixed school, Mr. Speaker, and so we have both boys and girls, but as they were getting in, I was able to see that girls far outnumber the boys in this particular school, Mr. Speaker. And probably this is a matter that all of us should start thinking about, Mr. Speaker, because I think the male gender is at risk. I also noted that girls were the first ones to get in, and the boys were taking a back seat. This is something that, as a former boy and now man, Mr. Speaker, must concern me. However, I welcome these students to this school, Mr. Speaker. This is a big day secondary school, and it is a school whose future is very bright. I want to take this opportunity to encourage these boys and girls that yes, the future is very bright, that yes, you can make it in Ngurueni, because we know many, many students that have made it to join the university from day schools, and this is going to be possible with Ngurueni. Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, because I'm a high school teacher also, and every time that I get an opportunity to speak to students from a mixed school, I like, Mr. Speaker, especially talking to girls and telling them that the boys that they attend school with, chances are that they are not going to be their husbands, Mr. Speaker. And so I normally advise girls to concentrate on their studies, because And boys don't like it when I say this, and I say it so many times, every time, like I've said, that I get an opportunity. But Mr. Speaker, as we appreciate our boys, we must tell our girls to take care, because at this age, adolescence, this is a risky age. And so, Mr. Speaker, without taking much of Senate time, I welcome again the boys and girls from Goroene Secondary School. And I thank the teachers for choosing the Senate. Here is where we make laws, especially those concerning counties. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
What is your point of order, Senator Chris?
Thank you very much.
You know the risk of talking for so long. You expose yourself to points of order.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I welcome the students as well to the House. However, I feel as though the direction in which this advice to young female students is not going to the right place. Mr. Speaker, he's saying specifically to the girls that they should focus, implying that it is up to us, our obligation as girls, as women, to temper the adolescent wants and needs of young boys. Why doesn't he tell the boys, hey boys, why don't you focus on yourselves, and girls, you focus on yourselves, rather than putting the burden on young girls as if it is their duty? It's not my duty as a young woman or a young girl to to stave off the young men and fend them off. That's the wrong message that he's sending. As a teacher, Mr. Speaker, as a champion of inclusive education, he should be refraining, I feel, very strongly from that line and that direction. I thank you.
Valid concern. Next, order clerk. Honorable Senators, at this juncture, allow me to rearrange the sequence of today's business. That is pursuant to Standing Order 45-2. To start with order number 9, 10, 11, and then we resume as per the order paper. Clerk, kindly call the orders as rearranged.
Order number 10, Committee of the Whole, the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 5 of 2022. Order number 10, Committee of the Whole, the Natural Resources Benefit Sharing Bill, Senate Bills number 6 of 2022. Order number 11, Committee of the Whole, the Preservation of Human Dignity and Enforcement of Economic and Social Rights Bill, Senate Bills number 7 of 2022.
Chair Jelak, kindly approach the table. Is this? Honorable Senators, let's start this business. The Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 5 of 2022.
Clause 2.
I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. The Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights have some amendments. So, Chair, move your amendment.
Thank you very much, Chair. The committee proposes that Clause 2 of the bill be amended by inserting the words, the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Amendment Act, hereinafter referred to as at the beginning of the introductory clause. Therefore, insertion of that amendment of that particular clause, Mr. Speaker, under the terms of what I've just read.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed. So there is a division. We shall do that later.
Clause 3.
I propose the question that clause 3 be part of the bill. I put the question that clause 3 be part of the bill. Division will be done later on.
Clause 4.
I propose the question that clause 4 be part of the bill. The Chair Jailak, you have also an amendment on this clause 4?
Yes, Chair. I propose that Clause 4 of the bill be amended as follows. A, in the introductory clause, by deleting the words Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act hereinafter referred to as the, appearing immediately after the word the. B, by deleting the proposed new section 23A and substituting, therefore, the following new section. 23A. In this part, comma, responsible officer means A, a cabinet secretary, B, a county governor, C, the chairperson of a commission established under the Constitution, D, the Auditor General, E, the Controller of Budget, F, the chairperson and the accounting officer of a corporate body, and G, a public officer to whom a resolution or report of a House or a Committee of Parliament is submitted in accordance with this Act. Chairman, under C, in the proposed new section, by remunerating, or rather renumbering, the existing provision as subsection 1 and 2, inserting the following new subsection immediately after the new subsection 1. That is 2, a person liable for an offense under subsection 1 shall be personally liable for the fine, and public funds shall not be used to pay such a fine.
Thank you, Chair. So, Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed. I don't see any interest to any comment. So I put the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed. So division will be done later.
New clause 3A.
Chair Jailak, approves the table first.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to propose that the bill be amended by inserting the following new clause 3A immediately after clause 3. 3A. Section 16 of the Principal Act is amended in paragraph D by deleting the expression 38 appearing immediately after the words under section and substituting therefore the expression 37. And Mr. Chairman, I propose that since this is a new introduction to the bill, I move that it be read a second time.
Well, very well. Therefore, Senators, Honorable Senators, I propose the question that new clause 3A be read a second time. I put the question that new clause 3A be read the second time. There will be a division later on.
The title and clause 1.
I propose the question that the title and clause 1 be part of the bill. I put the question that the title and clause 1 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Before we move to the next bill, we will now want to report so that
Honorable Senators, from my seat, we have no numbers to go to division. And therefore, I request that we proceed to report and ask the mover to move the bill.
Mr. Chairman, Honorable Chairperson, pursuant to Standing Order number 153, I beg to move that the committee do report progress on its consideration of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 5 of 2022, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, mover. So, Honorable Senators, I put the question that the committee do report progress on its consideration of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 5 of 2022, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow. As many as of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as of a contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it.
So now we will proceed to the... Innocent, you have the schedule,
Yeah, now let's proceed to the next bill.
which is the natural resources benefit sharing bill.
This is the Natural Resources Benefit Sharing Bill, Senate Bills number 6 of 2022. I want him to approach the chair.
Clause 3.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clause 3 be part of the bill. Chair Lance.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I propose that clause 3 be amended as listed in the order paper.
I propose the question that clause 3 be amended as proposed. Senator Manzo, do you want to speak on this amendment? Okay, therefore,
Amendment is subsumed in the amendment by the committee.
there was an amendment by Nakuru Senator, Senator Tabitha Keroche, but since the amendment actually has been taken care of by the committee, so we drop that amendment.
Clause 4 and amendment to heading to part 2.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clause 4 and amendment to ending of part 2 be part of the bill. Chair Lance.
Mr. Chairman, I propose that clause 4 be amended as listed in the order paper and the heading to part 2 of clause 4.
I propose the question that clause 4 and amendment to heading of part 2 be amended as proposed. So I put the question that clause 4 and amendment of ending of part 2 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clause 5.
I propose the question that clause 5 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I propose that clause 5 of the bill be amended by deleting clause 5.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the clause 5 be deleted. I put the question that the clause 5 be deleted. Division at the end.
Clause 6.
I propose that clause 6 be part of the bill. Chairperson again.
Honorable Chairperson, I propose that clause 6 be amended as listed in the order paper.
I propose the question that clause 6 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 6 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clause 7.
I propose the question that clause 7 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I propose that clause 7 be amended as listed in the order paper.
I propose the question that clause 7 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 7 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clause 8.
I propose the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I propose that clause 8 be amended as listed in the order paper.
I propose the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clause 9.
I propose the question that clause 9 be part of the bill. I put the question that clause 9 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Clause 10.
I propose the question that clause 10 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I propose that clause 10 be amended as listed in the order paper.
I propose the question that clause 10 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 10 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clause 11.
I propose that clause 11 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I propose that clause 11 of the bill be amended in paragraph 1 by inserting the words "in consultation with the respective local community and upon conducting public participation" before the words "negotiate the terms."
I propose the question that clause 11 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 11 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clause 12.
I propose the question that clause 12 be part of the bill. Chair.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I propose that clause 12 of the bill be amended in subclause 2 by deleting the word "commission" appearing immediately after the words "deposited with the" and substituting "therefore" with the word "authority."
Okay, thank you. I propose the question that clause 12 be amended as proposed. I put the question that clause 12 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clause 13.
I propose the question that clause 13 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I propose that clause 13 of the bill be amended in subclause 3 by inserting the words "be appointed by the respective county executive committee member responsible for matters relating to natural resources" and immediately after the words "sharing for forum shall."
I propose the question that clause 13 be amended as proposed. And honorable senators, you realize that when I put the question is that there are no senator who is interested to make a comment or to contribute to the amendments. So I put the question that clause 13 be amended as proposed. Division at the head.
Clause 14.
I propose the question that clause 14 be part of the bill. Chair.
Honorable Chairperson, I propose that clause 14 be amended as listed in the order paper.
I propose the question that clause 14 be amended as proposed. I put the question that the clause 14 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clause 15.
I propose the question that clause 15 be part of the bill. I put the question that clause 15 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Clause 16.
I propose the question that clause 16 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I propose that clause 16 of the bill be amended in clause 1 by deleting the word commission appearing immediately after the words furnished to the in the paragraph A and substituting therefore the word authority.
I propose the question that clause 16 be amended as proposed. So, honorable senators, I put the question that clause 16 be amended as proposed. The vision at the head.
Clause 17.
I propose the question that clause 17 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I propose that clause 17 be amended as listed in the order paper.
I propose the question that the clause 17 be amended as proposed. Senator Kipsang William.
Honorable Speaker,
Kisang William.
Honorable Chair, I rise to support this transitional clause to ensure those who already have licenses to exploit natural resources continue to enjoy the same. Honorable Speaker, I support.
I put the question that the clause 17 be amended as proposed. The vision at the end.
Clause 18.
I propose the question that clause 18 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I propose that clause 18 of the bill be amended in subclause 1 by inserting the words in consultation with the authority and the Council of County Governors immediately after the word Cabinet Secretary may.
Thank you. I propose the question that clause 18 be amended as proposed. Again, Senator William Kisang.
Honorable Chair, I also rise to support the amendments by the Chair because, these natural resources are exploited in the counties. So in the past, the county governments were not there. It was only consulting with the Cabinet Secretary. But because this is a county issue, this law affects the county, so it's important that the Council of Governors, especially where the natural resource is exploited, that particular county should be consulted. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Support.
Very well. I put the question that clause 18 be amended as proposed. The vision at the end.
Clause 19.
I propose the question that clause 19 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I propose that clause 19 be amended as listed in the order paper.
So, honorable senators, I propose the question that the clause 19 be amended as proposed. Senator Mugatana Dalson.
Mr. Chairman, this is a very good proposal. Mr. Chairman, this is actually the crux of this bill, because under the Mining Act, you would see that there were different formulas for distributing the benefit. When you go to the Petroleum Act, there was also a different method of apportioning benefit to the communities. Now this one has sort of like tried to streamline the benefit sharing formula so that every Kenyan can understand it. I support, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Mugatana. Therefore, honorable senators, I put the question that the clause 19 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
New clause 5A. Sorry, new clause 5.
Mover. Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I beg to move that new clause 5 be read a second time, Mr. Chairman. It is establishment and management of the benefit sharing authority. There is established the benefit sharing authority. The authority shall be a body corporate with perpetual succession and a common seal, and shall in its corporate name be capable of suing and being sued, taking and purchasing or otherwise acquiring, holding, charging, and disposing of movable and immovable property, borrowing or lending money, and doing or performing such other things or acts for the proper performance of its function under this act, which may be lawfully done or performed by a body corporate.
Thank you. I propose the question that new clause 5 be now learned a second time. I put the question that new clause 5. Oh no, he has just come late. Okay, Senator Mugatana.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, this authority is a very important authority that has been established. And when you look at the earlier formation, it was a bit cumbersome because it seemed like there were committees that were to be formed both at the local and the national level. But when the committee now, through the chair, proposes that we have a centralized authority, and this authority deals with benefit sharing, the whole of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, I think this is a very good proposal, because this is where all the divisions of the benefits, whether it be resources from the extractives, whether it be resources, natural resources that are occurring on top of the ground, Mr. Speaker, this authority will also create a knowledge reservoir. Instead of various committees coming up just for the purposes of benefit sharing, this authority within it will create a knowledge reservoir so that many people and different parts of the country that will have issues of benefit sharing, they will have a place, and we will develop the capacity like it is in other countries. Mr. Chairman, also, I note with much appreciation that it has not also been left floating. The issue of dispute resolution has been dealt with, and I think that was a very good suggestion, so that this authority has been given the power to resolve disputes. So if a community in Tana River is having maybe mining issues with the exploiters, it is not left hanging, or it is not left to courts, ordinary courts, to resolve these matters. There will be a specific authority that will have the first say at resolving disputes, and this goes to every part of the country. And Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, joined with the knowledge reservoir of dispute resolution that will be created by this act, I am sure that it will serve a better way to resolve the disputes that are very many in this area of benefit sharing of resources that are extracted from our different counties. I support, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Mugatana. I now put the question that new clause 5 be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5A.
Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I move that new clause 5A be read a second time. 5A is the functions of the authority. The functions of the authority shall be: 1, to coordinate the preparation of the benefit sharing agreements between the affected county and the affected entity. B, review and, where appropriate, determine the royalties payable by an affected entity engaged in natural resources exploitation. C, identify counties that are required to enter into a benefit sharing agreement under this act in consultation with the respective county governments. D, oversee the administration of funds set aside for community projects to be implemented under a benefit sharing agreement. E, facilitate and monitor the implementation of a benefit sharing agreement entered into between a county government and an affected entity. F, conduct research regarding the exploitation and development of natural resources and benefit sharing in Kenya. G, determine appeals arising out of conflicts regarding the preparation and implementation of benefit sharing agreements. H, advise the national government of the policy and the enactment of legislation relating to benefit sharing in resource exploitation. I, oversee the establishment of benefit sharing committees and forums established under this Act. J, ensure proper and timely payment of funds to counties and local communities as provided under this Act. K, build the capacity of local communities in negotiation for benefit sharing and implementation of related projects. L, prepare national guidelines on benefit sharing in consultation with the relevant stakeholders. M, identify in consultation with sector-specific organizations incentives and benefits to promote the conservation of natural resources. N, promote value addition in natural resources. O, promote local content initiatives on the exploitation and exploration and exploitation of natural resources under this Act. And P, promote the restoration of the environment after the exploitation of a natural resource in an affected county. Number 2, the authority may, in furtherance of its functions, collaborate with others, with such other bodies or organizations within or outside Kenya as it may consider necessary for the better performance of its functions under this Act. 3, the authority shall have regard to the following in the performance of its function. A, all existing laws regulating the natural resources sector in Kenya. B, all existing arrangements for benefit sharing between local communities and an affected entity under the law, under any law in Kenya. And C, obligations imposed on Kenya under any international treaty or agreement relating to the exploitation of natural resources. I beg to move, Mr.
Members, I now propose the question that new clause 5A be now read a second time. I put the question that new clause 5A be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5B.
Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I beg to move that new clause 5B be read a second time. The management of the authority shall vest in a board which consists of A, chairperson appointed by the President with the approval of Parliament. B, the principal secretary responsible for finance or a designated representative. C, the principal secretary responsible for mining or designated representative. D, the principal secretary responsible for petroleum or a designated representative. E, the principal secretary responsible for energy or a designated representative. F, 2 persons of opposite gender nominated by the Council of County Governors to represent such communities as the Council shall determine. G, 1 person nominated by a registered association representing a majority of the members of the county assembly. And Mr. Chairman, if you would allow me, just as it appears on the order paper.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I now propose the question that new clause 5B be now read a second time. And I put the question that new clause 5B be now read a second time. Division at the end.
New clause 5C.
Chairperson. Yes, Senator Mugatana, what's your point of order?
Chairman, I think you're moving too fast because some of these things are so critical because this is a new clause and specifically you wanted to make comments on clause 5B.
Very well. Actually, there were no indication on anyone other than right now I can see Honorable Senator Kisang.
No, I was there. Uncle, I met, look, I wanted to press.
There was no one as at that time, but nonetheless, your point of order is taken. We will
allow us, Mr. Chairman, to just say a few things.
Very well.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chairman.
Very well.
This constitution of the board is very innovative. The reason I support it is because it has taken specific interest in the counties. If you look at it, Mr. Chairman, there is proposed a person, 2 persons nominated by the Council of Governors of either gender. In fact, Mr. Chairman, apart from the Council of Governors, to represent communities. And there is also 1 person nominated by the assemblies or the organization of MCAs in this country. So, Mr. Chairman, we believe that this board would serve its purpose. It's not the usual boards that simply have permanent secretaries or they have cabinet secretaries. There is a specific application to allow for members of county assemblies as well as the Council of Governors to be part and parcel of this board. And I think that is a very good thing, and I support. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Kisang.
Actually, Chair, I wanted to raise the same sentiments. You know, this is a very important authority that is going to ensure that the counties benefit, the community benefit. So it was important that we have representatives from the Council of Governors and the county assemblies. Chair, you know, in the past, you saw what Senator for Turkana, Senator Lomenen was complaining about oil that was exported and Turkana County didn't get anything. So as we also do the regulations for this particular bill, law later on, as soon as it is signed into a law, Honorable Chair, we need to ensure, even from the beginning, before as the investors recoup the investments, the counties and the communities also should get something, even if it is small at the beginning, progressively, so that you know what the counties are getting at the beginning and the community is small, then the investors take a lot of to recoup the investments, and then with time, the counties and the community will surpass what they would have gotten originally, so that, you know, counties benefit, we benefit, because these are natural resources that God gave communities, especially where they are not endowed with rain. I'm saying this, Honorable Chair, because I know soon, close by in Elgeyo Marakwet County, there is already an expression of interest by Ministry of Mining, and I am hoping this law is fast-tracked so that by the time an investor comes in, this law will be in effect. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Chair.
Thank you very much, Senator Kisang. Honorable members, I now put the question that new clause 5B be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5C.
Chairperson.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I wish to propose that clause 5C on tenure of office be read the second time as it appears on the order paper. Mr. Chairman, if you'd indulge me, all the other new clauses that are appearing all the way to Q are in regard to the authority. So it is exactly what we have read about the functions. So that's why I say that we, just as it appears on the order paper.
I now propose the question that new clause 5C be now read a second time. Honorable Kisang. Sorry, Honorable William Cheptumo. Sorry.
Chair, I wanted to contribute to the previous amendment. No, this one. I just wanted to say something to the other one, which had just been concluded. So.
Very well. Just go ahead. Okay. Thank you, Senator Cheptumo. So I now put the question that new clause 5C be read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5D.
Chairperson.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I propose that new clause 5D on qualifications for appointment be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 5D be now read a second time. I put the question. Yes, Senator Boni Halwale.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate what this clause is attempting to achieve. It's good for people to have at least a university degree. But when we move on and say you should have some knowledge of at least 7 years experience in all these things. Mr. Chairman, as somebody from a gold mining community, it concerns me. We might run the risk that in my community, you might not have somebody with this experience. Yes, has a degree, but they don't have that experience. So we'll be locked out and the bill will not have achieved. So I don't know how we want to deal with it, but let it be on record that I'm worried about it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Boni Halwale. I now put the question that new clause 5D be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5E.
Honorable Chairperson.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I beg to move that new clause 5E on vacation of office be read the second time as it appears on the order paper.
Thank you, Chairman. Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 5E be now read a second time. I put the question that new clause 5E be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5F.
Honorable Chairperson.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I propose that new clause 5F on powers of the board be read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
I now propose the question that new clause 5F be now read a second time. The Honorable Senator Mungatana, Danson Buya.
Mr. Chairman, I stand to support this particular clause. Mr. Chairman, the original format of the bill was a bit unclear as to who would be entering those resource sharing benefit contracts. It was like they needed to go, the initiator was the CEC in charge of treasury in the counties together with the local communities. And then they were to finally take this to the national treasury. It was a bit cumbersome. But in this particular proposal, it is clear that it is this board, the authority and its board would enter contracts and prepare these contracts for resource benefit sharing with the communities. And this makes it much, much faster, much, much easier. And I think it would change the whole resource sharing sector between the local communities at the county level and this particular authority. I support, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Yes, Senator Oburu.
Mr. Chairman, I'm very sorry. You know, it escaped, you moved a little fast on this 5E. I just had you moving to 5, and I was just concerned. I just wanted some clarity on the issue of conviction. That if somebody is convicted on a criminal offense and sentenced to a term of imprisonment of not less than 6 months, Mr. Chairman, if somebody is convicted of a criminal offense of, say, 3 months, you mean he will just continue to serve? How do you, if you are convicted and jailed I think it should be, if you are given a custodial sentence of even 1 month, you cannot continue to serve. If you are, but anyway, I don't know why they are putting it
May
as
you
6
allow
months.
the chairperson to maybe make comments or remarks about the justification of the 6 months by the committee? Honorable Chairperson, any remarks on it?
Mr. Chairman, sir, what this particular subsection speaks to, I would want to invite the senator to read the heading of it. The chairperson or a member of the board appointed under this section shall become vacant if the person is. So it's the same thing for us members of parliament. If you have convicted for more than 6 months, your position becomes vacant. It's the same thing for the board member. If you're a board member of this board and you're convicted for any offense, you're convicted for 6 or more months, your position becomes vacant. If you're convicted for 3 months, you shall serve your term and come back and continue. The same case that it is for any member of parliament. If you're convicted yourself, Dr. Oburu Odinga, to a sentence of 3 or 4 months, you shall go serve your term and come back as senator and continue. That was the thinking.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the thinking, but it is not. It's very skewed. Me, I'm elected by 285,000 people here.
These
are people who are
noted,
appointed,
Honorable
and on issues of appointment, you really don't give people so much leewage that they are convicted. Me, I've been a civil servant. And I know that once you are convicted of a criminal offense, you don't continue to serve as a civil servant. You don't go and serve a sentence of 3 months and then come back and continue to serve in a board. That I think is not right.
That's noted, Senator. I believe the Honorable Chairperson has noted your comments. Honorable members, I now put the question that new clause 5F be now read a second time. Division at the end.
New clause 5G.
Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I really thank the senator for here. That is something that I'm very persuaded. Whatever you're pursuing is the right position. In my opinion, I think it is. Whatever you're saying is the right position. Once you're convicted, you're not a good person. You're supposed to vacate your office. Mr. Chairman, sir, I propose that a new clause 5G on committees of the board be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 5G be now read a second time. And I put the question that new clause 5G be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5H.
Honorable Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I propose that a new clause 5H on powers to delegate be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 5H be now read a second time. And I put the question that new clause 5H be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5I.
Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I hereby move that new clause 5I on remuneration and allowances be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
I propose the question that new clause 5I be now read a second time. And I put the question that new clause 5I be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5J.
Honorable Chairperson.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I hereby move that new clause 5J on the conduct of business and affairs of the board be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 5J be now read a second time. I put the question that new clause 5J be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5K.
Honorable Chairperson.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I hereby move that a new clause 5K on the Office of the Director General be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 5K be now read a second time. The Honorable Senator Mungatana.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to propose that the record should reflect so that the intention of the legislation can be known in case interpretation comes. People are seeking interpretation that this person who is being recruited, the wording saying has knowledge and at least 10 years experience in law, environment management, economics, it should be understood to mean it is either of those. Because the way it is, it's like it could be, someone can correctly interpret, say he must be having experience, 10 years experience in law, also 10 years experience in environmental management, also 10 years experience in economics. In fact, the only thing it says, or any other related field, and this is what was worrying the Honorable Senator Boni Khalwale when he was saying that from his gold mining area, it could be that all these people, this qualification, he may lock out his people. So I want it on record that any of these should be understood to mean that they qualify. If they have the degree and they have 10 years experience in law or 10 years experience in environmental management and those listed areas. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Mungatana. Could you approach the chair? Yes, Senator Oburu, as Mungatana approaches the chair.
Yeah. He's talking as a chair.
You are.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, proceed.
Mr. Chairman, I support this amendment, but I'm only concerned about this long period of experience of 10 years. Mr. Chairman, it is actually an act of exclusion when we put very, very long periods of experience. And you are excluding the youth. We want the youth to come up in leadership. And a youth who will have 10 years experience is really, you are just giving these jobs to people of our age. I think this period of 10 years has been there in our laws, in our statutes for too long, and it is a time we consider reducing this, because when you advertise and you state 10 years, and the young people, they look at it and they just say, this is not for us. This is something for people who have worked and almost retired. That, because, Mr. Chairman, it takes a long time for people to acquire these qualifications, and by the time they are qualified, they are somewhere at 35 or so to be specialists, and then by the time they have 10 years, they will be over running to 50 years. And Mr. Chairman, I don't think that is a very fair provision. But anyway, I'm not proposing an amendment.
Thank you,
I'm just giving my comment.
Senator Oburu. Indeed, the clause that you have spoken to, that is clause 5K, will be recommitted so that your comments and concerns about the number of years required is reconsidered so that the objective of that particular clause is achieved and also accommodate the youth that you have made reference to in order for them to qualify. Indeed, the chairperson is indicating that even after he serves 10 years here, he will not be qualified if he was to seek for that position because of the requirement of the 10 years that has been put in the bracket. I thank you for that. Honorable members, I now put the question that new clause 5K be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5L.
Honorable Chairperson.
I thank Dr. Oburu Odinga for that very insight. In fact, I'm very happy that it has been recommitted because I was even locking myself out of that job. Even after serving as senator for 5 years, I cannot qualify to become Director General of that board. So thank you very much for that, and it shall be looked into. Mr. Chairman, sir, I hereby move that a new clause 5L on tenure of office of the Director General be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 5L be now read a second time. I put the question that new clause 5L be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5M.
Honorable Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I hereby move that a new clause 5M on the functions of the Director General be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 5M be now read a second time. I put the question that new clause 5M be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5N.
Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I hereby move that a new clause 5N on the tenure of office of the Director General be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
I propose the question that new clause 5N be now read a second time. And I put the question that new clause 5N be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5O.
The Honorable Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I hereby move that a new clause 5O on the common seal of the authority be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 5O be now read a second time. And I put the question that new clause 5O be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5P.
Honorable Chairperson.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I hereby move that new clause 5P on the staff of the authority be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
I propose the question that new clause 5P be now read a second time. Honorable Mungatana.
Mr. Chairman, I support that clause 5P. But this is not an ordinary board, Mr. Chairman. This board, we must put a clause there that actually forces the board to recruit with regional balance in mind. Why? Because, Mr. Chairman, the likelihood of this organization having claims from all over the country is very, very high. Because from Turkana to here in Nakuru on geothermal issues, to Baringo, or the issues I was raising about the lake, things that are being taken away by the jeans manufacturing company, to Tana River, where we are talking about gypsum mining, to the coast coal mining. We would want an authority that specifically is forced to recruit, being sensitive to regional balance. I wanted, Mr. Speaker, that, Mr. Chairman, that we find a wording that will box this authority. Why? Because, Mr. Chairman, there has been accusations that some authorities, in fact, people speak in mother tongue, and they exclude other people. But this is such an important authority, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, that it must have a spread. It would be so bad for the senator of Tana River to have fought for this, and then there is not a single person from Tana River County employed in this authority when it starts working. Why? Because it happens, and I have many examples I can give you, that authorities, Mr. Speaker, they have been converted into tribal organizations in some places, and some places they even speak mother tongue. So we don't want this authority, because this authority is too important for us to leave it to just the board. The board must have a regional balance in terms of recruitment. We want to find the wording, not the way it is. Mr. Chairman, maybe I will stand guided how we'll do it. Maybe we recommit, I don't know. I submit. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mungatana. The comments you've made as regards new clause 5P shall be recommitted. And I now put the question that new clause 5P be read now a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5Q.
Honorable Chairperson.
I thank you, Mr. Chairman, for recommitting clause 5P. I'm sure because even the Senator for Kiambu had sought an intervention, he would want to have a clause in it that will give the board not only a lot of leeway, that they can be able to even give opportunities to the youth and women in terms of recruitment, as has been the case for every other government agency. Mr. Chairman, sir, I move that new clause 5Q on protection from personal ability be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
I propose the question that new clause 5Q be now read a second time. And I put the question that new clause 5Q be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 5R.
Honorable Chairperson.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I hereby move that a new clause 5R on the liability of the authority be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 5R be now read a second time. And I put the question that new clause 5R be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 14.
Honorable Chairperson.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I hereby move that a new clause 14A on the financial year be read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that new clause 14A be now read a second time. And I put the question that new clause 14A be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 14B.
Honorable Chairperson.
Honorable Chairman, I hereby move that a new clause 14B on accounts be read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 14B be now read a second time. I put the question that new clause 14B be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 14C.
Honorable Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I hereby move that a new clause 14C on the annual report be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 14C be now read a second time. And I put the question that new clause 14C be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 20.
The Honorable Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I hereby move that a new clause, section 20, an amendment to section 7 of Act number 47 of 2013, be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
I propose thank you very much, the Honorable Chairperson. The new clause 20 had a proposed amendment by the Honorable Senator Tabitha Keroche, who is not in, and the same proposed amendment is indeed subsumed in the Chairperson's proposed amendment in the next clause 21, and therefore, for the record, we are dropping the proposed amendment by Senator Tabitha Keroche, and her proposed amendments are fully taken care of in the next proposed amendment by the Chairperson. So we move to, we will put the question. Yes, Senator Mungatana, yes. What is your intervention?
Mr. Chairman, I had put my mic on for intervention. Mr. Chairman, this section, the Wildlife Conservation Management Act, amendment of that act, and then it's followed by the amendment you've just referred to on the Energy Act, and also the other one on the Petroleum Management Act, on the Petroleum Act. Mr. Chairman, this really captures the whole essence of this bill. This bill, Mr. Chairman, is about streamlining how all the resources would be benefiting to the nation and the communities. So it's not a question of under Petroleum Act, you have a different formula. Wildlife Management Act, you have a different formula. And all these other acts, under the Energy Act, a different formula. Now we have a bill that says this is the way we are going to be sharing natural resources. And I really want to support these particular clauses because they capture the spirit of what this law, this proposed new law is about. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Mungatana. Honorable members, I now put the question that new clause 20 be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 21.
The Honorable Chairperson.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I hereby move that new clause 21, an amendment to section 85 of Act number 1 of 2019, be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. I now propose the question that new clause 29 be now read a second time. 21, sorry. I propose the question that new clause 21 be now read a second time. I put the question that new clause 21 be now read a second time, division at the end.
New clause 22.
The Honorable Chairperson.
Honorable Chairman, Honorable Chairperson, I hereby move that new clause 22, an amendment to section 58 of Act number 2 of 2019 be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
I propose the question that new clause 22 be now read a second time. I put the question that new clause 22 be now read a second time, division at the end.
New schedule.
The Honorable Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, I hereby move the new schedule on provisions as to the conduct of business and affairs of the Board of the Benefit Sharing Authority be now read a second time as it appears on the order paper.
And I propose the question that the new schedule be now read a second time. I put the question that the new schedule be now read a second time, division at the end.
Clause 2.
The Honorable Chairperson.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I hereby move that clause 2 be amended as per the order paper.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed. And I put the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed, division at the end.
The title and clause 1.
The Honorable Chairperson. I propose the question that the title and clause 1 be part of the bill. And I put the question that the title and clause 1 be part of the bill, division at the end. Senator Mungatana, could you kindly approach the table? Honorable members, before we move on to report the Committee of the Whole, I would like to indicate that we are stepping down consideration in the Committee of the Whole on the bill, the Preservation of Human Dignity and Enforcement of Economic and Social Rights Bill, Senate Bills number 7 of 2022, for purposes of consideration of the proposed amendments which came in, and thereafter we commit it to the committee. Now we are reporting on the progress by the Committee of the Whole on the Natural Resources Benefit Sharing Bill, Senate Bills number 6 of 2022. I call upon the mover, Honorable Senator Mungatana.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Chairperson, pursuant to Standing Order 153, I beg to move that the Committee of the Whole do report progress on its consideration of the Natural Resources Benefit Sharing Bill, Senate Bills number 6 of 2022, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the Committee of the Whole do report progress on its consideration of the Natural Resources Benefit Sharing Bill, Senate Bills number 6 of 2022, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
So I now invite the chairperson to prepare and give the report on Senator Sige.
Madam Speaker, I now report that the Committee of the Whole has considered the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 5 of 2022, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow.
I call upon the mover, Senator Mungatana.
Honorable Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Thank you.
Seconder. Karungo, Senator Karungo then.
I second.
I propose the question that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. And I now put the question that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as are of contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. I call upon the chairperson of the committee, Senator Sige, to report on the bill on natural resources, benefit sharing bill, Senate Bills number 6 of 2022.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole has considered the Natural Resources Benefit Sharing Bill 2022 and seeks leave to sit again tomorrow.
I call upon the mover of the motion,
Honorable Madam Speaker.
Senator Mungatana.
Thank you. Honorable Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee on the said report, subject to recommittal of new clauses 5E, 5G, 5K, and 5P. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Can you invite a seconder, Senator Mungatana?
Madam Speaker, I invite the Honorable Senator for Kiambu to second.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I do second.
I propose the question that the House do agree with the committee in the said report, subject to recommittal of these clauses 5E, 5G, 5K, and 5P. And I put the question that the House do agree with the committee in the said report, subject to recommittal of the clauses in 5E, 5G, 5K, and 5P. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as are of contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. So, clerk, next order.
Order number 8, the Employment Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 11 of 2022, second reading, resumption of debate interrupted on Tuesday, 6th June 2022. Mover to reply.
We will defer that bill, the resumption of debate, as the mover is not here. What is your point of order? Senator Mazayo.
Speaker, I thank you so much. Madam Speaker, I rise on a point of order in accordance with Article 41 of Standing Orders, Sub-Rule 1. Which states, if you will allow me with your kind permission, that if at any time in the course of the proceedings of the Senate, a senator objects that there is not a quorum present, the Speaker or the chairperson shall count the senators present in the Senate or the committee as the case may be. I don't want to go to the second one because the second one involves you. I would leave it at that and request that if you could be kind enough to take note of that and make a decision or make a ruling on it. I thank you.
What is your comment?
Madam Speaker, I do not stand to disagree with the provisions of the standing order on the quorum of this House, Madam Speaker. But in the same spirit, I am looking at the side of the opposition from which the very distinguished senator is a leader. He is the only one in the chambers. Just one person out of the many who are in the opposition. So maybe as we ring the quorum bell, it's also a challenge to him as the leader that he should be able to speak to his colleagues, that they should not desert duty and run away, so that we are having this quorum hitches every time.
Senator Medho, you will be out of order because I was going to rule on the issue of quorum. The Senator Mazayo, resume your seat. Resume your seat, I'm dealing with it. Resume your seat, I'm dealing with the proceedings. And I want to deal with the question of quorum that has been raised under Standing Order 41, and there is no quorum in the House. It's confirmed. Can the Sergeant at Arms now ring the bell? There is no quorum for 10 minutes. Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 41-2A, there being no quorum, the Senate stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, 8th June 2023 at 2:30 p.m.